I forgot to warn Mrs. Magner about the 5-minute limit, so if I start cutting off at 5 minutes.
Oh, don't worry. It's a lot of papers, but it's not
Okay.
as many words because I just can't see that well anymore. So I've attended a few board meetings myself, and I've been watching some of the other ones online, and I believe the behavior of some of the board members have been very unsettling. I'm appalled that some of this behavior has occurred while there were students in the audience. It's okay to disagree. Just like parents at home, we show our children, we can disagree, but that doesn't have to be ugly. It's not okay to interrupt others when it's their time to speak. It's not okay to make snide remarks that only mean to undermine the confidence and security that parents have in our district. It's not okay to attempt an atmosphere of intimidation and fear so that others won't speak out. Bullying is not acceptable in our schools, on our playgrounds, or in this boardroom. Let's start setting a better example for our students. Another point I have to make is the purpose of any executive board is for oversight, but not for micromanagement. I did a little research and I found this website. It's the Michigan Association of School Boards. And there was some interesting information on there that I'd like to share. They had a page that was indicators of effective boards and board members. I just want to read a little bit of that to you. Ethics are essential to the successful operation of the educational system. The MASB has developed indicators of effective boards and board members that encompass the most important responsibilities of a board of education. Ethics are intended to ensure that the conduct of a school board holds the respect and confidence of the community, staff, students, and all the constituents. It's the belief of the MASB that high ethical standards translate into a focus on student achievement, culture, and conduct at the board meetings and consistent accountability. There are a few things under that I would like to point out. Under culture and conduct at board meetings, an effective school board member should value differences of opinion and don't let differences degenerate into personality conflicts. Focus on the board agenda and meet on issues related to improving student achievement. Publicly support the superintendent and staff. Under ethics, an effective school board member should ensure micromanagement or undermining of the superintendent. I see that the MASB offers training on how to become an effective board member. They offer team building conferences, custom training, and even online courses. It's time to set aside the differences and disappointments in our lives and figure out how to work together as a team. It's in the best interest of the entire district. And I also, in case anyone was interested, I have a handout from the website about some of the on-site board training that they offer. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Beth Denowitz.
Good evening, board members. My name is Beth Danowitz. I am the mother of 2 children in the district. I have a 3rd grader at Houghton and a preschooler at Stepanski. I am a Waterford grad, an active PTA board member, and care a great deal about our school district. So much that I sit through really long, really hot board meetings. I am also a volunteer with the gun safety groups, Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America. And I'm here tonight to bring to you my concerns regarding Senate Bills 584-586, which aim to allow people to carry concealed loaded weapons into our schools along with other sensitive areas. Currently, because of an absence of laws regulating the open carry of firearms, people can legally open carry weapons into schools if they have a CPL. This is an issue that has caused a great deal of concern among parents in our state. This bill does not close that loophole, but rather increases the number of people who can carry loaded weapons into our schools. In addition, while currently the issue of whether or not school districts have the right to make their own firearm policies remains up for debate in courts, Senate Bill 586 would ensure that school districts would be unable to make their own firearm policies, leaving this board out of the decision-making process as to what is best for our district. More simply put, that means you won't be able to ban guns from our schools. In addition to this, over the past few weeks, there have been real conversations happening with local lawmakers who are drafting legislation that would aim to arm our teachers. I have extreme concerns about the Michigan State Legislature jeopardizing the safety of our children and our educators and using our schools as pawns to advance gun rights in our state. Allowing guns into our schools compromises the ability to maintain safe learning and working environments. Allowing guns into our schools further complicates our district's ability to identify and plan for threats. Allowing guns into our schools would increase emergency response times in the wake of an active shooter, as law enforcement would have to first identify who is a CPL holder and who is the active shooter. Allowing guns into our schools opens up the possibility of gun-related accidents occurring. I am asking this board to use its influence to urge lawmakers to reject this bill. It is expected that the lawmakers who will be most influential in this fight are those from Oakland County, those that some of you likely know. Currently, 37 schools in our state have stood up for their students, staff members, and families and passed resolutions to oppose legislation that allows guns in our schools. I ask this board to put safety first, stand up for Waterford, and become a part of this growing list. Please consider passing a resolution that would keep guns out of Waterford schools. And I just prepared a small packet for each of you that I'll pass out. It just includes my formal request, a list of the schools that have already passed such a resolution, and an example of a resolution written by another Michigan school board for your reference. Thank you.
You just make sure it gets to Megan. She'll make sure we all get a copy.
Thanks.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the Board of Education on non-action items? Sir, if you could just go to the podium and give us your name, please.
My name's Art Welch, and I've attended a few meetings in the last few months, and I'm a groupie. I just show up. I just want to let you know that the meetings that I've attended for the last few months, my hats are off to the board. You know, you guys sit, you're patient, and you listen, and I'm not that patient, and I'm not that quiet. I just see actions going on the board with members that are totally out of touch with the rest of the board, and quite frankly, with a lot of what's going on. All the good news and the good budget report tonight, and I'm thinking, like, that, you know, just like Joan said, that's a good thing. That's something that you want to hear. But the foolishness that's going on with some of the board members, it's driving me crazy. I can't hardly sit still. And I'm glad I do. But I have people that I talk to during the week that have watched meetings. They told me they can't even watch them anymore. They said they're so upsetting with what they watch. And I'm just telling you that there's people on the board have a different agenda than from what most of you people do. They've got something else going on, and it has nothing to do with education of our students and doing the best there. And I just tell them that I'm sitting in the audience and I don't know anything, but I can see that there's people on the board have a different agenda. And it isn't the students. It's all about whatever they've got going on. I don't know what it is. But the public is watching. If you think that they're not watching, I can tell you they are. And I'm out there and I'm watching and I'm not happy. I'm watching some real foolishness, and I'm tired of watching it. You guys are so patient. My hats are off to you. I don't know how you do it, but I'm just telling you, some people need to shut up and listen, and I've said that before. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board on non-action? With that, we move to Superintendent's report. Dr. Wunderlich.
Thank you. I want to just deal with a couple of issues just to make sure that the right information is out to the public. We talk a lot about board policy here and bylaws and all that kind of thing. Policy 6220, budget preparation, charges Mr. Holbrook with maintaining a 5% fund balance. So people probably don't remember, Bill's only been in that job for about 2 3/4 years now, I think, Bill. And you saw the numbers that were presented and the amazing job that's happened. We were not at that 5%, and Bill has done a fantastic job of taking us from really, very close to being in deficit to now making not only the state required limit, but also our board policy amount of 5%. So congratulations to Bill on that. There was a question about the $95,000 in legal fees. There were also 2 new things this year that were required of all staff that are part of that. We needed Title IX training. There's been some new things in Title IX that required some introductory training for administrators, but then some in-depth training with especially coaches and folks who work with those aspects of Title IX, and it's done by lawyers, and it's days of training. And so, Member Torres was talking about, you're just adding up that hourly cost, and you add up days and days and days of training. Also, another very big one this year is with seclusion and restraint, and every single employee needs to be trained in that, right down to cooks and custodians, because everybody that comes into contact at all with students has to have the seclusion and restraint training, and that's law, and that's provided by lawyers as well. It adds to that legal fee. And then I forget the exact amounts, and Mr. Holbrook has said them before, and so help me if I get these wrong. But when I was in Waterford previously, we had 14,000 students, and now we have about 9,500. And so that's an incredible decline in students. In I believe it's the last 8 years is a 23% reduction in the number of students, and in that same time period there's been a 38% reduction in administrators. So to say that it's always taken out of the teachers is not a correct statement. Administrators, there's been quite a few cuts, lots of positions eliminated, and many people who are in administrative roles wearing several hats instead of individualized hats like they may have had before. And I also, I believe this was said multiple times, but it bears repeating one more time. We tend to say student loss as if kids are packing up and leaving the school district, and that's not the case. And Member Bargon said it correctly. We have a gap between our graduating seniors and our incoming kindergartners. The beautiful part about that information, though, is for the last 3 years, our kindergarten class has gotten bigger. In fact, in 3 years, it's gotten bigger by 100, and that's a pretty significant growth in our kindergarten numbers. So we're really pleased with where that's going, but would urge everybody out in the audience, please have kids. We can't have these houses with no kids in them. We know you like being in Waterford. We know you like where you live, but please have some kids because we need those kindergarten numbers to grow larger. Now, on to the really fun stuff. Mr. Petruccia had mentioned a couple of these, but it also bears repeating. Congratulations, Kettering's boys bowling team, state champs. And I believe we're bringing them in next time at the April meeting, so you'll have a chance to congratulate them in person. State champs, just a fantastic accomplishment there. As long as we're on Kettering, Kettering robotics team just won this past weekend regional competition in robotics, and it's just an amazing thing that they have to do this year. They're actually picking up other robots as part of the competition, so it's just bizarre what they're working on. We had a Mott student who won a Scholastic Art Award, and we talk about those quite frequently, but we're usually talking about Michigan. She won second place nationally in the Scholastic Art Awards. So just a fantastic piece. I put the picture of it on Twitter. It's a piece of pottery, just fantastic. Cooley Elementary was just honored in the last couple of days. There was a new list produced of the top 100 most improved schools in the state, and Cooley's number 26. So most improved in the entire state. So I went to their staff meeting today and surprised them with that announcement, but one more accolade for Cooley, so congratulations to them. Our Curriculum Instruction Assessment Department was just invited to present at Oakland schools and to present to the entire county on the things that we're doing, especially with reading in the Waterford School District. You know, it's a real honor, and I know I've brought this up before, that when there was money available from Oakland schools to supply school districts with reading interventionists, they didn't do that for us because they said, you guys already know what you're doing, we'll give you the funding and you can use it for those things that you already have in place. So Oakland Schools gets it, and they're sharing it with the rest of the county, that our curriculum department is doing an outstanding job, so congratulations to you. Kettering Orchestra had celebrations recently, all ones at Festival, and we also had a big vocal festival that took place at Kettering and with our middle schools and at Kettering High School, and just did a fantastic job. Grayson recently hosted the Leader in Me Symposium, and if you happen to go there that day, literally 2 charter buses full of people that were dropped off at Grayson to kind of experience Grayson and Grayson Kids and what Leader in Me is all about. You know, you're talking about the great ad for Waterford. What a great ad for these people across the Midwest to come to this symposium, and one of the stops of their conference is Waterford School District, so congratulations. As long as I'm talking about Grayson, Grayson also found out today that they were honored again with the Michigan Green School Award, and it's Evergreen, the top award that you can get in the Green Schools Award. We had 2 third graders from Haviland Elementary recently honored by the Waterford Rotary for their excellence in reading. We had a Kettering wrestler that I wrote down state runner-up. To me, it just sounds better to say they were second in the state. I mean, that's how fantastic is that? That's just, to me, it just sounds better than runner-up. And we have 2 outstanding educators, Beaumont teacher Christina Barnes, Grayson Parapro Karen Hoffman, who have earned but not yet received Dove Awards for their excellence in the classroom, so congratulations to them. Back to some sports. Kettering girls basketball won districts and made it to the regional finals, so what a great showing for them. And Mott boys basketball won the conference championship as well. Mott divers Seth Caspers came in 3rd in state championship, so congratulations to him. And we have a gymnast, Michelle Cleaver, who has qualified for states, but I don't believe that state competition's happened yet, but that's on the balance beam, which I'm assuming she's doing flips on. I cannot walk across one. We had 5 Waterford Destination Imagine teams qualify for state competition, and just yesterday we had 10 teachers from the Chicago Public Schools come to Waterford to see what we do. They were here for another conference, but they particularly wanted to see Leader in Me. They also wanted to see STEM. They wanted to see some other things that we're doing, so we gave them the grand tour yesterday. So just a really nice feeling to be able to share, not even just with people in Michigan, but folks from Chicago wanting to see what it is that we're doing in the Waterford School District. So if you take a look at that list that I just gave you, we're talking athletics, the arts, reading especially, but just teaching excellence in general, creativity, and being on the top of the top list of best schools in Michigan. We're doing a great job here, and I want to congratulate the staff and administrators that make that all happen on a daily basis. So congratulations to all of you, and there's many other great things that happen on a daily basis. This is just kind of the cream of the crop. I was already on the bottom of 2 pages. I didn't go to 3. So thank you.
Thank you. With that, we are adjourned.